You're listening to Wednesday Midday Medley here on 90.1 FM KKFI, Kansas City Community Radio. Luke Skippy Harbur, a Kansas City-based performer, producer, and beatboxing specialist, is with us live in our 90.1 FM studios. He is a vivacious artist known for his cross-pollinated brand of alternative music mixing hip-hop, Broadway, EDM, and singer-songwriter influences. His project, Music by Skippy, connects multi-generational audiences through different show experiences, living among music, theater, and poetry to combat isolation and to celebrate identity. You can attend his live shows, comedy musicals, and you'll get the idea. Since 2022, he's released over 50 songs and sold almost 1,000 tickets to 8 original shows. He also hosts lectures about his arts business failures and successes, sharing artist income strategies to fight gatekeeping culture. Thank you for that. And also fostering community building. Music by Skippy presents a We Press Play Release 2 album release and dance party happening this Friday, July 12th at 8 o'clock at the Westport Bowery at 817 Westport Road here in Kansas City. You can go to musicbyskippy.com for more information. Also, Luke Skippy Harbur will co-host with Audrey Crabtree the KC Fringe Festival Flash Preview happening Thursday, July 18th at 7:30 at the Arts Asylum at 824 East Meyer Boulevard. And that will kick off the live part of the festival for fringe artists with 53 shows. They're going to be doing 1 minute from each show that night. I believe that's how it works, right, Luke?
That is exactly right. Yep.
And that is Thursday, July 18th, right?
Yep.
Okay. Luke Harbur, thank you so much for being with us on Wednesday Midday Medley. Welcome back to the show.
It feels so wonderful to be here. Thank you so freaking much.
You are such a busy guy. You are always working on a new project, and you have a new album of music called We Press Play Release 2.
Yes.
Which is kind of the second edition of your earlier We Press Play release, which is a little bit different than some of your other recordings, right?
Yeah, that's right. So under Music by Skippy, every single music project I release tends to be a different genre. And I noticed when I did We Press Play back in 2022, it's a show that went so well and was so wild. And I noticed that electronic dance music is something that I love to produce a lot, and I can do it quickly and I enjoy it. So I'm like, what if I just did this like annual dance party that was called We Press Play? So that's where the second edition and the second album came from. It's just another 12 songs within that genre, but the live experience is just a little bit different than the one that happened previously.
You wear a custom-made helmet in this show.
I do.
Tell me about that.
So this wonderful human being named David Carlisle of Diabolical Props, he has this small business to where he makes custom anime like gear for Comic-Con, like attendees. And I knew in order for We Press Play to work as an experience, I needed to be a DJ that was off stage and not on stage. I knew that I needed to have a look or something that kind of engaged curiosity. And ultimately, I really pride myself on my health. And I wanted to basically be able to like go nonstop for 90 minutes in this show where I'm just going, pop-up performers come out of nowhere. But that had to be symbolized in some way. So this helmet that I commissioned him to make, fully immersive, it goes on my head as if you're wearing a biker's helmet. There's a very small gauge that I can breathe through. And actually, I now work out about 3 times a week at 9 Round in the Crossroads in Kansas City, Missouri. And I've increased my lung capacity to wear that helmet if I need to for a full 90 minutes for this show.
Wow.
So that people are like, how is he breathing? What is he doing? It's very much like a David Blaine street magic type thing, but I basically have just really worked hard on my breathing capacity to make it a very athletic show.
That's amazing. It also adds this whole element of mystery too.
Correct.
Like who is behind that helmet?
Correct. The marketing and advertising has been awesome in that sense too.
when you make this project happen, you basically do everything. You're like making all the music, you're producing it, you're engineering it, you're mixing it, you're writing all the music, you're performing all the music. It's being published through your label and your publishing company, right?
Yep.
Almost
that's
Peanut
right.
Butter.
That's right.
And
That's right.
it kind of gives you this liberty to sort of do whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
In this realm.
Now, it's a blessing and a curse. I think I leaned into it first because I was like, well, budget's a thing. I've got to really think about, financially, how can I really sustain my music business? But what's really cool is as I'm sustaining what I do, I'm starting to get a lot of support for what I do. I now have the verbiage and the tools to talk to an animator, to a mixer, to a master, to a composer, a lyricist, because I've had to do it all myself. And now I kind of feel like I can be a legitimate collaborator. I have the lingo and the kind of means to say, okay, this is what I want. I remember I did this one thing a year or two ago. It's kind of like this, and this was my process for making that happen. It's been very beneficial.
We sort of watched you launch Music by Skippy and really grow this thing and develop it. You are a multifaceted artist. You, Luke Harbur, yourself, and Music by Skippy is one part of you.
Yes.
And if people go to your website, they can find out all of these other parts to you.
Yes.
But one part of you is the analytical part, who's keeping track of all of these shows. How many people came to every show? What was the budget? How much money did we make? How did we profit? What could we do better next time? You're like analyzing it every step of the way, aren't you?
Yes. And I do it as a means, yes, to sustain my business. But my ultimate goal in life is, I think once Music by Skippy retires, one day that will probably happen, right? I ultimately see myself in a professor type role for arts entrepreneurship and or a managerial type role. And I want to have all these case studies to help the next generations of, hey, here's a thing that I did. This really didn't work. Or, hey, here's a thing that I did. This worked like crazy. And here's why. I really enjoy that part of music business, because when it can be genuine and you really listen to your audience, you can feed them quite literally in a way that if you don't pay attention to the analytics, it can be a little detrimental to, I think, how you can really watch, love, and support your supporters. Like, I think my favorite example of that is in one show, I did pay what you can for all my merchandise, and I made the most money I ever had for merchandise.
Wow.
Because there was, this young girl who'd been coming to multiple shows, couldn't afford a $25, $30 t-shirt. I said, pay what you can. She had $10. She bought the shirt. You've never seen her happier. There was someone right after who paid $300 for 10 hats.
Wow.
Because they just said, I'm amazed at what you're doing, and I know I can help you.
It's wild how we value ourselves as artists sometimes, and also thinking about the marketplace and how all of that works. And I know I worked with a performance art group who, for a long time, all of our shows were free.
Sure.
But the minute we added a cover charge, our audience became more diverse. It was really wild. I couldn't figure out what happened, but part of it was that I think we valued ourselves in a different way, and the audience went along with that.
Yeah.
And like, you are so many different things. You have so many different genres that you are great at, and you have to you're kind of like deciding what you're going to do for that particular audience, or what you're going to do for this project over here, or you got this job working for the Casey Fringe.
Yes.
And seeing the show, how that's going to be. You kind of gauge all of that, don't you?
Yeah, I think when I first started my journey back in November 2021, I thought I kind of had this ego thing going on of like, I could do everything all the time. But like, as I've really been through therapy and I've worked really hard with a lot of self-reflection with what this journey means to me in a deeper level, in a deeper sense, the bigger question becomes, there are lots of people coming to me now to ask for commission work, to ask for collaboration. One, do I realistically have the time right now? Two, if I'm being seen in that certain way, how can my first question to them be, you really think I can help you? And I have all kinds of skills, but what's the thing you really feel like I can do to serve you? That is now becoming the fun way to be a collaborator. I can meet people exactly what their expectations might be. I can match it and then go, what if we pepper in this tiny other little thing? And then most of the time that's not a bad idea.
That's great. I love that. I love that. Well, you had told me that you wanted to do your piece, Gotta Catch My Breath, Take 81.
Yes.
You wanted to do that live today on the show.
I would love to.
So I'm just going to turn it over to you.
Sounds great.
Turn off my microphone and let you take over.
Sounds wonderful.
Okay.
To the wonderful listeners of 90.1 KKFI Kansas City, my name is Skippy. You're listening to Music by Skippy. I'm a beatboxing specialist, meaning that I can make drum sounds with my mouth, and I've been doing that for 19 years. So I actually want to do a live rendition of beatboxing for you right now, because this will be featured in my show on Friday, July the 12th at Westport Bowery. I'd love to see you. My name is Skippy. You're listening to Music by Skippy. Yo, skibbity skid, skibbity skid, skibbity skid.
Oh my God, that was incredible.
Thank you. I'm so sorry about your beautiful mic.
No, if I wasn't watching you doing that, actually watching you doing that was blowing my mind. Actually, I was like, how is this happening?
I don't even know anymore. It's an out of body experience.
It's like, do you have 4 extra mouths over there somewhere? I was like, how, that was amazing.
Oh, thank you.
You just heard Music by Skippy doing Gotta Catch My Breath, Take 81. Tell me about the title. Were there 81 takes or something?
There were 81 takes. And the 81st take is the one I decided to mix and master, because I knew if I don't do multiple routines of the song, I couldn't craft it. I couldn't keep sculpting the structure that I now use really heavily whenever I do it live. Yeah, and that 81st out of the 81st take was the one to go with.
Okay, so I can talk. I now understand more about your workout routine too, because it takes a lot of breath to do that, doesn't it?
Yes, and my lungs are just, I'm so proud of them. They've worked so hard.
Good for you. That was fabulous. I really think that's how I first knew of you as a performer, was with your beatboxing, because you would be brought in as a special performer for a show here or there.
Absolutely.
And just blow people away with what you can do with that instrument of yours, your voice and your breath. That's like a combination of voice and breath, isn't it? And diction and all of it.
Yes. And I think what's wild is, as I've been doing a lot of lectures and I've been going into choirs and a cappella groups to talk about it, it is amazing how it translates into building your confidence. It's amazing how I can really talk about the art form solely using the American letter system of this sound, the P-F snare, are the letters P and F squeezed together. Puff. It's very fun.
You have a gift here that you can use in so many ways too, because I'm sure I've always been totally in awe of hip hop and rappers who can just give you a poetry. They can just off the grill give you this 10-minute thing that is memorized, and it's this poetry in motion. And you have that gift too. I'm sure, like with children and kids, they're like blown away by this, right?
It is becoming my favorite thing to beatbox, to sing, to rap for the younger generations, because you watch maybe the rebellious kid completely go 180 within not even a 5-minute time span. Because they're like, oh, you've earned my attention.
Exactly.
You earn my respect immediately. And you're like, yep, and now I'm going to give you the hard truths about life, but don't worry, we're going to lock right back into beatboxing too, so you can enjoy that as well.
Oh, that's so great. I love it. I'm going to cry. Okay, we're talking with Luke Skippy Harbur. Luke Harbur, who does a project called Music by Skippy. And Skippy is like your nickname, right?
Skippy is my nickname. My mom's best friend, her name's Gina Bardwell, longtime actress in Kansas City.
Yeah, right.
Is in New York now,
right.
Professor of a communications department at Touro College in New York. She called me Skippy TL as the kid, which stood for skipping through life, because I didn't walk anywhere. I skipped everywhere. That's my nickname.
I love that.
It's so wholesome.
Music by Skippy presents We Press Play Release 2 album release and dance party Friday, July 12th at 8 o'clock at the Westport Bowery over at 817 Westport Road. Just behind the flea market is where this venue is. It's formerly known as the Buffalo Room.
I was wondering if you were going to say that it was formerly the Buffalo Room.
Jamie Searle runs this place, and actually he's doing something with the Bowery that not many clubs are doing, and really opening it up to communities that have been shut out of a lot of venues and other places, and doing a lot of hip hop and R&B and soul shows, and really bringing in an audience there. The lighting that the Buffalo Room used was Jamie's lighting, and after the Buffalo Room closed down, he went to take his lighting down, and somehow the owner of the flea market convinced him to keep it up there.
Yes, that
right?
makes a lot. Yes,
and Jamie is an artist in of himself, a beautiful musician, and
just
amazing.
Saw Jamie yesterday because we had a tech meeting in person. I will not go on a ramble, although I could for the next 30 minutes about that beautiful human being. But Jamie is one of the quintessential examples of how do we keep doors open for all kinds of artists in Kansas City, regardless of genre, regardless of message. I mean, I just love him. He's working really hard.
I agree. And he's not one of those people that is like, he's doing something that he personally believes in and following his own vision.
What you get on an interview like this or off an interview, it matches. It's very genuine and very real, very grounded.
He's been a friend of our radio show for a long time, and I've had a huge amount of respect for him for quite a while. You just keep building your resume. You've basically had the chance to play with so many different artists and in almost every venue in town at this point, haven't you been able to work at? You've done a lot of work with Quixotic over the years.
Sure did. They really helped me launch my career in the beginning. Yep.
You've done work with Missy B's.
I love Missy B's. I always will. It's the place where I came out as bisexual. I'm always proud of that place. It helped me a lot.
You have worked with, like you said, choirs, theater companies, Calvin Orsina, No Divide KC. You've been involved a lot with No Divide KC. It just goes on and on. People can go to, is it bestmusicbyskippy.com?
I think so. That's probably the best way to see all the details.
We have a couple more minutes, but as we go out today, we're going to play your song Looking Back from We Press Play 2, which was released officially in May, right?
It was.
And you're basically having this release party at the Bowery in Westport, just behind the flea market. And there is an entrance from that back parking lot That is probably the best way
Probably the most efficient
to get
way.
into the venue. And that's a limited seating venue. I've done a show there, and so it often sells out quickly.
Yes.
And where do people go for more information to get tickets and all of that good stuff?
Of course. So if you want to go to tickets, funny enough, the ticketing link for the show is the first thing you see when you open my website.
Okay.
So all you have to do is go to musicbyskippy.com. The dance party has very high energy moments, very low key moments, literally for you to go around the room and give people compliments. It's a very well balanced show, no matter what your style or personality is like.
Sounds great. You're always incredibly sensitive to your audience and the shows that you do and how you present them and produce them. That's it's a beautiful thing that you do as an artist. We're talking with Luke Harbur, who is known as Music by Skippy also, which is one of the many facets of his multi-talented journey as an artist. He just does so many great things. And also, people can see you next Thursday night at the big opening of KC Fringe Festival. You're going to be with Executive Director Audrey Crabtree,
Yes.
emceeing the flash preview.
Yes.
When all 53 shows being presented are doing 1 minute from each show.
It's one of my favorite points in the festival. I was part of KC Fringe last year. This year, I actually got my first ever professional musical. That's why I'm sadly not part of the official festival run. That said, Audrey's a superstar. I know I have lots of gifts and talents myself. We're going to do a really great job making sure the show keeps moving.
I hear you. Well, I'm going to be there and I'll see you.
Yay!
We're going to go out with the track Looking Back. Once again, Music by Skippy. We Press Play Release 2 album release and dance party Friday night at 8 o'clock at Westport Bowery, 817 Westport Road. More information at musicbyskippy.com. Luke Harbur, thank you so much for being with us on the radio today. Thank you for sharing that piece that you did,
Yes, of
which
course.
is incredible. Christina Ning, our friend, is here in the studio, and she came over to me while you were doing that and leaned into me and gave me that look, like, "Can you believe what you're hearing?" And I'm like, "No, I can't believe what I'm hearing. It's so good." What's the professional musical that you're doing?
I am going to be Gad/Butler and Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat at Theater Atchison.
Wow. Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm really excited for that next
That'll be
step.
fun. That'll be a good next project to go into, because you're going to be part of a huge ensemble and
that's where I'm going to move more into. I'm going to keep doing solo things, but I cannot wait to be part of more ensemble
That's so
works.
good.
Great.
They'll be all the better to have you in the show. Well, thanks. Please know you're always welcome on our radio show, as you know, and we love you. And best of luck on Friday night.
Thank you, Mark. You're the best.
This is Music by Skippy from We Press Play Release 2, and the track is called Looking Back.